Gentlemen, let's have a real conversation. Not about what you've lost with age, but about what you've gaining wisdom, experience, and presence. Yet despite all that, many older men walk through life unaware of one powerful truth: women still notice you, admire you, and sometimes they're even flirting with you. But here's the catch. They do it differently now. It's not always with a wink or a laugh. It's often with curiosity, subtlety, and heart-centered questions. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. Today, I want to awaken you to something that changed how you view connection, attraction, and yourself. Because most older men don't realize that when a woman is genuinely interested, she often asks these 5 questions. Not just to make conversation, but to see if there's something real between you. Let's dive into those 5 powerful questions and what they really mean. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any video. Question number 1. So, what do you do to stay active these days? At first glance, it may sound like just another polite question, the kind of small talk you'd hear at a gathering or over coffee. But if you're an older man and a woman asks you this, pause before you answer. Because beneath those simple words lies something deeper. It's not just curiosity about your hobbies or your daily routine. It's a window into how you're living your life now, in this stage, in this season where many slow down. But you don't have to. This question isn't about your gym membership or whether you jog every morning. It's about energy. It's about passion. It's about how you move through the world and whether you've still got that inner fire. Oh, women, especially those who've also lived long enough to understand what really matters, aren't just looking for someone who's alive in body. They're drawn to someone who's alive in spirit. And activity, in this context, reflects your engagement with life. Staying active could mean anything. Maybe it's your morning walk where you greet neighbors and feel the sun on your face. Maybe it's gardening, where your hands in the soil connect you to something timeless. Maybe it's mentoring younger men, offering the wisdom you've earned through years of experience. Or maybe it's travel, photography, dancing, writing, or fixing up old motorcycles. It doesn't matter so much what you do. What matters is that you do it. Because when a woman asks you how you stay active, what she's really trying to discover is if you've stopped living, or if you're still going forward. Are you letting the years weigh you down, or are you using them as wings? Are you coasting in neutral, or are you still driven by purpose, curiosity, and a desire to grow? A man who stays active, physically, mentally, socially, is a man who radiates vitality. He walks a little straighter, he speaks with intention, he listens with presence. He's not trying to impress anyone. He doesn't need to. His life speaks for itself. There's something magnetic about that. Women can sense this. They can feel when a man is still connected to himself. And when she asks you how you stay active, she's not just checking a box. She's listening closely. Because behind the activities you name, there's a story. There's your mindset. There's how you approach aging, not with fear or resignation, but with grace and strength. And that matters. Because in this stage of life, people crave depth, real connection, and activity is often a mirror for emotional and mental presence. A man who chooses to keep moving forward, who chooses to stay active, is a man who's decided that life still has more to offer, and that he still has more to give. Answer that question with confidence, not with hesitation. Tell her about the things that light you up, that challenge you, that keep you sharp and grounded. Don't downplay them. Don't shrug them off as just a way to pass the time. Because if it means something to you, it shows who you are. And that's what she's hoping to glimpse. And if you haven't been asked that question yet, ask it of yourself. What do you do to stay active these days? Not just to kill time, but to stay alive. Because when you have an answer to that, when you live a life where that answer comes from passion, not habit, that's when people notice. That's when eyes meet, conversations begin, and hearts quietly lean in. So the next time someone asks you that question, don't underestimate it. It's not small talk. It's an invitation. It's a sign that someone sees you, is curious about you, and wants to know if there's still a flame burning in your soul. Let your answer show that there is. Let it show that you're not done, not by a long shot. Question number 2. Do you miss working, or are you enjoying the freedom now? This question might sound like simple curiosity. just a polite way to acknowledge your retirement, but it often carries far more meaning, especially when asked by someone genuinely interested in getting to know you. When a woman asks this, she's not just wondering about your job history. She's trying to understand how you've transitioned from one major chapter of your life into another. She wants to know who you are now that the title, the routine, and the professional responsibilities are behind you. Work, for most men, isn't just about earning a living. It often becomes a core part of identity. For years, sometimes decades, it gave you structure, purpose, and direction. It provided a place to contribute, to be needed, and to feel productive. When that chapter ends, it's natural for some men to feel a bit lost or uncertain. So when someone asks if you miss working, they're really asking, have you found new meaning? Have you embraced the freedom, or are you still anchored to the past? If you do miss working, that's nothing to be ashamed of. It just means that what you did mattered to you. It meant something. It challenged you, gave you a sense of belonging or achievement. But the key lies in how you've processed that. Do you miss it because you haven't found something meaningful to replace it? Or do you simply look back with appreciation while still moving forward with purpose? On the other hand, if you're enjoying your freedom now, that says something equally powerful. It speaks of your ability to adapt, to reinvent yourself, to see retirement not as an ending, but as a new beginning. It shows that you understand life isn't defined by a paycheck or a position, but by how fully you live each day. And that kind of mindset is rare and attractive. When she asks you this question, she's paying close attention to how you answer. Not because she cares about your resume, but because she wants to know how you view life. Do you wake up with excitement or emptiness? Are you filling your time with purpose, or just passing the hours? Have you let go of who you were so you can fully become who you are now? This is your chance to share the new chapter you've written. Maybe now you have time for your passions. Woodworking, painting, reading, traveling, or volunteering. Maybe you're spending more time with family. Being present for the little moments that used to pass you by. Maybe you found joy in the stillness, in walks through the neighborhood, in long conversations over coffee. That kind of freedom isn't just about having no schedule. It's about having the power to choose what matters most to you now. But there's another layer to this too. When a woman asks you if you miss working, she might also be wondering if you've let yourself go mentally or emotionally. Are you still growing? Are you still learning, still evolving? Or did you shut down once the career ended? Because a man who continues to stretch himself, even without a clock to punch, is a man who's still alive inside. And that matters. Freedom is a gift, but not everyone knows how to use it. Some people become stuck in nostalgia, always looking back. Others move forward with intention. Creating new routines, setting fresh goals, building new dreams. That's the difference between retiring from something and retiring to something. And when she asks you that question, she's hoping to see that you've chosen the latter. So don't take that question lightly. It's more than a casual inquiry. It's a subtle way of asking, who are you now? What lights you up? What gives your days shape and soul? When you answer with authenticity, you give her a glimpse into the man you are, not just the worker you were. And that glimpse might be what draws her closer. In the end, this phase of life can be just as rich, just as meaningful, and even more fulfilling than the one before, if you let it. And when someone asks whether you miss working or enjoy your freedom, it's a reminder to check in with yourself and ask, am I truly living this chapter, or just waiting for the pages to turn? Let your answer show that you're still very much alive, still curious, still passionate, and still choosing purpose every single day. Question number 3. What kinds of things make you laugh now? It might seem like a lighthearted question, maybe even a throwaway line in casual conversation. But when a woman asks you this, especially as an older man, she's asking something deeper than it appears. She's not just wondering about your sense of humor. She's listening for your openness, your softness, and your capacity for joy. Laughter is one of the purest signs of life. It reveals what touches you, what delights you, and how you relate to the world. And as we grow older, our relationship with laughter changes. In youth, we often laugh easily, sometimes carelessly, at everything and nothing. But with age comes complexity. Life teaches hard lessons, and for some, laughter fades beneath layers of stress, grief, disappointment, or simply routine. So when someone asks you, What kinds of things make you laugh now? It's really a gentle way of asking, do you still find lightness in your life? Do you still see the humor in the world, even with all that you've experienced? It's a question that measures your emotional temperature. Not just your tastes in jokes, but your ability to be playful, to let go, to enjoy moments without overthinking them. Your answer says a lot. If you can name the things that make you laugh today, it tells her that your heart hasn't closed off, that you haven't become bitter or jaded, that you haven't let the weight of years turn you serious and rigid. It tells her that despite all you've seen, you still choose to see the beauty, the absurdity, the silliness that life offers. That's a deeply attractive trait, not just to her, but to anyone looking for real connection. Maybe you laugh at witty comedies, clever banter, or old movies that never get old. Maybe it's watching kids say the wildest things, or pets doing something ridiculous. Maybe you laugh at your own past mistakes now. Things that once frustrated you, but now make you smile with perspective. Maybe you enjoy laughing with friends over old memories, inside jokes, or shared stories from the road you've all walked together. Or maybe you've learned to laugh at life itself. The unpredictability of it, the timing, the irony. That kind of laughter doesn't just come from entertainment. It comes from growth. It shows that you've made peace with the chaos, that you've learned not to take everything so seriously. It reflects emotional intelligence, the ability to navigate pain with grace and still find reasons to smile. And what about laughing at yourself? That's one of the most powerful forms of humor. A man who can chuckle at his own quirks, his own stubbornness, his own aging process even, that man is disarming. He's relatable. He doesn't need to impress anyone because he's secure in himself. Women notice that. They respect it. Because it takes strength to be self-aware and confidence to be playful. The question might also be a subtle test. Not to trap you, but to learn. Can you find joy? Do you invite laughter into your life? Because no one wants to be around someone who carries only heaviness. No one wants to build connection with a man who's shut off from laughter, who's buried under cynicism or regret. When she asks what makes you laugh now, she's hoping to hear that there's still light in you, that you still find beauty in small things, still see humor in the everyday, but that you're not just living, but living well. And if, for a moment, you realize that you haven't laughed in a while, that nothing truly comes to mind, then maybe that question is your invitation to reconnect with joy, to seek out moments that make you smile, to not just endure life, but to enjoy it again. Because no matter your age, laughter doesn't expire. It doesn't get old. It just evolves. And when you can answer that question from the heart, with a smile, a memory, or a sparkle in your eye, you send a powerful messaging that I'm still alive inside. I still feel. I still laugh. That's the kind of man people want to be around. That's the kind of presence that draws others in. Not with loudness or bravado, but with warmth and light. So the next time someone asks what makes you laugh now, don't brush it off. Think about it. Feel it, this stage, and let your answer remind both of you that life, no matter the chapter, is still worth laughing through. Question number 4. What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet? This question can feel unexpected, especially later in life. It's the kind of question we associate with youth, with endless time and wide-open possibilities. But when a woman asks an older man this, it's not about nostalgia or fantasy. It's about hope. It's about curiosity. It's her way of asking, is there still a dream inside you? Most older men don't get asked this question. Society often assumes they've done all they were going to do, that their ambitions are behind them, that life is now more about maintenance than momentum. But the truth is, no matter your age, there's always something left to explore, to chase, to feel. And when someone asks what you've always wanted to do but haven't yet, it's a beautiful opportunity to reflect, not on what's missing, but on what's still possible. The question digs deeper than it seems. It's not just about goals or bucket lists. It's a question about your soul, about whether you've allowed life to shut the door on adventure, or whether you've kept that door cracked open, even just a little. It speaks to your relationship with time, with risk, with desire. It asks if you still dream when no one's looking. Maybe you've always wanted to learn a musical instrument, write a book, or speak another language. Maybe you've dreamt of seeing the northern lights, sailing the Mediterranean, or standing quietly in front of the pyramids. Or maybe your dream is simpler, but just as meaningful. Reconciling with someone from your past, expressing love you once held back, or finally giving yourself permission to do something just for the joy of it. Whatever the answer, what matters most is that the dream still exists. That spark, that pull, that thing that whispers to you when the world is quiet. Because the presence of a dream, no matter how small, means you're still reaching forward. And that's magnetic. That's powerful. That's rare. When a woman asks you this question, she's not just interested in the answer. She's interested in how you respond. Do you light up? Do your eyes drift to something distant and meaningful? Or do you shrug, say not much, and move on? Because that reaction tells her whether you're still alive inside, or if you've quietly given up on more. A man with dreams, even unfulfilled ones, shows vulnerability. He shows depth. He shows that he's still human. Not finished, not hardened, not disconnected. He still believes that time, however limited, is enough for something meaningful. And in that belief, there is hope. There is life. It's also a question that invites action. You don't have to climb Everest or write a best-selling novel. Sometimes, just speaking the dream out loud brings it closer. Sometimes, naming it rekindles a part of you that's been sleeping. Because often, it's not the size of the dream that matters. It's the courage to keep one alive. And maybe that woman asking you the question isn't just being polite. Maybe she's genuinely wondering if there's something she could do with you. Something you could share. Maybe she's not just asking to know your dream. Maybe she's asking if there's still space in your life for something new. Something real. Too many older men stop dreaming because they think they've missed their window. They believe it's too late, that the world belongs to younger people now. But that's a lie. Some of the most meaningful experiences in life happen after the so-called prime. Because that's when you understand the value of each moment. That's when dreams become less about impressing others and more about fulfilling something deep inside. So when someone asks you, what's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet? Take it seriously. Let it be a moment of truth. Not just for them, but for you. Let it remind you that there's still time, that your story is still unfolding. And maybe, just maybe, that question becomes the start of a new chapter. Because as long as there's something you still want to do, something you still long for, something that calls to you, then life isn't done with you yet. Not by a long shot. Question number 5. Do you spend much time with friends or family these days? It may sound like a casual question, something you hear in passing or during a polite conversation. But when a woman asks this, especially to a man who's older, it's not just small talk. It's a meaningful inquiry into your emotional world. It's her way of gently exploring the relationships that surround you and the emotional warmth that fills your days. She's not simply curious about your schedule or whether you go out on weekends. She's looking to understand something deeper. Are you still connected? Are there people in your life who care about you, who listen to you, who make you laugh? She wants to know if your heart is still open, if your life still has companionship, conversation, and love woven into it. This question often strikes a chord in older men because, as time passes, the circle tends to shrink. Friends move away. Family grows busy. Loved ones passed on. And without realizing it, some men drift into quiet isolation. They may not even call it loneliness. They'll say they're independent or comfortable on their own. But deep down, the absence of regular connection can become heavy. When someone asks you if you spend much time with friends or family these days, they're really asking, do you let others in? Do you nurture the bonds that make life richer? Do you still laugh with someone until your ribs hurt? Do you share meals, memories, and meaningful conversations? Or have those things slowly slipped away, unnoticed? The way you answer reveals so much. If you say yes, that you stay in touch with friends, enjoy time with grandchildren, meet old buddies for coffee, or spend weekends with your children, then you're showing something beautiful. You're showing that connection still matters to you. That despite everything life has thrown your way, you've remained anchored to love, to loyalty, to human warmth. But if your answer is no, or hesitant, it might be time to pause and reflect. Not to feel guilty, but to remember that it's never too late to reconnect. Some men retreat as they age. They believe they become irrelevant, or they convince themselves they don't want to be a burden. But what they don't realize is that others often want their presence. They want their stories, their jokes, their quiet wisdom. Sometimes, they're just waiting for the invitations. This question can also be a quiet way of asking whether you still allow yourself to be seen and known, because true relationships, whether with friends or family, require vulnerability, they require effort, and sometimes they require forgiveness. A man who continues to make space for relationships shows emotional courage. He shows that his life isn't just filled with memories, but with ongoing meaning. When a woman asks if you spend time with loved ones, she's also wondering about your emotional health. Are you alone because you choose solitude? Or because you've stopped believing you're worth being around? Are you surrounded by people who uplift you? Or have you closed yourself out of habit or pain? She's trying to see what your world looks like, not just physically, but emotionally. Because here's the truth, as we grow older, connection is just nice to have. It's vital. Studies show that friendship, companionship, and meaningful family ties directly impact mental and physical well-being. A man who is connected lives longer, feels happier, and experiences more peace. And when someone asks about your relationships, they're not just checking on your social life. They're checking on your heart. And maybe, just maybe, she's asking because she hopes to be part of that circle. Maybe she's looking for someone who understands the value of presence, of listening, of showing up. Maybe she wants to know if your life has room for one more connection. Something real, something lasting. So don't brush off the question. Let it remind you of the people who matter. Let it challenge you to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Let it be an invitation. Not just to talk about connection, but to live it. Because in the end, it's not the titles you held, the things you owned, or the places you went that define the richness of your life. It's the people who knew you, stood by you, laughed with you, and loved you. And if your answer to that question is yes, that you do spend time with friends or family, then you carry with you one of the most powerful forms of wealth, connection. And if your answer is no, there's still time to change it. You see, these questions aren't random. They're a woman's way of feeling your aliveness. She's not impressed by the car you drive or the watch on your wrist. She's tuned into how you carry your soul. Too many older men miss these signs. They assume they're invisible. But the truth is, many women are still watching, still curious, and still open to a deep connection. But only if you are too. So next time you hear one of these questions, don't brush it off as casual chatter. Lean in, smile, open up. Because being attractive isn't about chasing youth. It's about owning your age with confidence, grace, and emotional presence. You're not too old. You're just getting interesting. And someone out there is waiting to discover the best version of you. Starting with a simple question. Thank you